Hello everyone, good evening, namaskar, kaise aap sir? So welcome to the channel IIT JAM Live, Unacademy India's #1 channel for IIT JAM preparation. So thank you so much guys. If anyone there, please let me know. And today we are going to start a topic, reproductive endocrinology. This is a very important topic. Guys must be aware about that. So So let me introduce myself. So guys, this is your educator Debasish Kar. I'm a plus and verified educator in the IIT-JAM category and in the biotechnology subject. So I'm the top educator in this category. You can check any other details my profile, like I have completed some courses, like there are some plus courses. Also I am taking class regularly on the special classes. So you can see there are some courses on cell biology and plant physiology is going on, and there are some courses on general biology, it is also going on. And you can check any other details which I have already completed, and they are also available for you, available for your preparation. So thank you so much guys for being with me. So if at all you want, good evening Kushi, good evening Gaurav, if at all you want any question, any query, you can ask me over there. I will definitely uh, happy to help you out. So guys, today it will be a very short session on reproductive endocrinology. So in this session we are going to cover the female reproductive system, and most of the session will be comprising the female reproductive cycle, right? Because you will definitely get a question on female reproductive cycle, because it's a very important, and always examiner will put a question from this topic, right? So I think we shall start the topic from female reproductive system. So give me some thumbs up guys, give me some like, so that it will encourage me to take the class, right? So before going to the topic, the endocrinology part, so I am going to show you the what is female reproductive system, right, and their parts, so that we could move to our endocrine part, because endocrine hormonal part is very important. So yeah, let's move. Okay. So guys, as you all know, the female reproductive system consists of ovaries, fallopian tube, uterus, vagina, vulva. Right. So in this, ovaries is very important for our session, for our endocrinology function, because in ovaries your egg will mature over there, right? And fallopian tube also takes place in the maturity of the follicle of the oocyte. I have already taught you about what is a primary oocyte, what is a secondary oocyte. I have already taught you about that, right? So now I am going to cover, so what is the function of ovaries, and inside the ovary what are the function are going on, what are the events going on, so that egg will mature and egg will give rise to a new life, right? Okay. So guys, you can see the diagram of female reproductive system. You can see there are two ovaries over here and over here. So let me tell you, there are two ovaries, but in each month there is only one egg will mature, right? Only one egg will go to the reproductive cycle, right? And how is it so? So in each month it will be an alternative pathway where one ovary will give one egg, right? So if at all in the month of January, this left side ovary give the egg, in the February the right side ovary will give the egg. Okay, so getting my point. So it's quite interesting, right? Okay, so it is the vagina, the outer part, as you all know. Then it is moved through the your uterus, and here is the uterine cavity, and here is your endometrium, right? So endometrium word is very important, and endometrium wall is very important for our session. So please don't forget about endometrium and its location, right? So whatever points I am telling you, please keep it in mind, so that the concepts will be very much easier for you, right? So then after we are moving through the uterine cavity. So here is a big cavity, it is uterine cavity. Then your fallopian tubes. So fallopian tubes are also very important, because the maturation of egg will occur over there, because from ovary the egg will move towards where the fallopian tube, right? The ampulla fallopian tube, which will help it to move the egg towards its perfect location, right? Okay, so as you all know, there will be, so let me tell you uh, oogenesis, right? First of all, so we'll move through the oogenesis. Okay, so you can see that these are the follicular developmental phases which we will cover in a very detailed manner. You can say this is the ovary, right? And this is the fallopian tube, and the egg is going to mature over here, and then it will move to this uterine wall, and it will implanted over there, right? Implantation will occur in that endometrium wall. So guys, what are the stages of the maturation? So eggs maturation, right? It will be first primary follicle, then it will be secondary follicle, then it will be Graafian follicle, then the ovulation will occur, then it will form the corpus luteum, then after it will move to the corpus albicans. So corpus albicans is the degenerative version, it will be the final version of this cycle, right? So you guys are already know that there are the primary follicle. Okay, so from the primary follicle, after, and it was formed before birth, right? About 10 to about 12 number of, right? 10 to 12 number of primary follicle are already formed before birth, right? You can see it as a pre-antral phase, right? These are the pre-antral phase. So why pre-antral phase? I will tell you just in a moment. So please have patience. So hereafter the oogonia will move to. So for example, let me write it. Oogonia. It will move to primordial follicle. So the primordial follicle will form in a 10 to the power 12 number before birth, right? Before birth, this amount of primordial follicle is already formed for the all the whole uterine cycle, whole the reproductive cycle of every female. Okay, so getting my point. So give me some thumbs up and you can ask me any question if at all you have any doubt, right? Okay. Okay, yeah, Gaurav. So I will repeat again. Don't worry. I will repeat again. Don't worry. Right. So then this primordial follicle will form after the follicle activation. Primary follicle. So these are the all the stages which will move through. Then it will become a secondary follicle. Secondary follicle, right? Then after the secondary follicle, the pre-antral phase will be formed. So in this secondary follicle, the egg will be here, right? Egg will be here, and there are lot of cells over there. So let me draw the cells. So you can see here a lot of cells. These cells are called as granulosa cells, right? So these are lot of cells are there, and in this point, at this point, your LH and FSH, your LH and FSH will be, sorry, raised, and different layers are formed, like your antrum. Okay. So here are also some cells at the outside. So the outside cells are called as the theca cells, right? So now it is secondary follicle. Now it is secondary follicle. Okay. So now it is secondary follicle. Now it will move to your tertiary follicle, and after tertiary follicle, the ovulation already started, right? The ovulation already started, and from this tertiary follicle, there will be the selection. So the selection of the egg will be selected, and the egg will go to the further development process, right? So then from the tertiary follicle, there will be a stage is called as your Graafian follicle, right? Here I have already mentioned Graafian follicle. Okay, so after Graafian follicle is formed, from the Graafian follicle, and the egg will move outside the Graafian follicle. Okay, so now let me do another PowerPoint, take another slide so that I could explain this in a better way. Okay, so I have to do it here. Yeah. Okay. So guys, I'm just writing all those points which I have already mentioned. So first one is primary follicle. So I'm taking over here from primary follicle because your hormonal function will come from here only. So in the primary follicle stage, the person, the girl, will mature at 12 to 13 years, right? It is probably the age of puberty, right? It's probably the age of puberty. So the girl will be mature over here, and at that time, FSH, follicular stimulating hormone, will be higher. Follicular stimulating hormone. At that point, follicular stimulating hormone will be higher, right? So for the follicular stimulating hormone, so it will move to the Graafian follicle, and then before that it will form that the secondary follicle. Okay, now the secondary follicle is formed. Okay, so this is just because of the granulosa cells, right? So follicular stimulating hormones will increase the formation of the follicular cells, yeah, the granulosa cell proliferation, right? And it will be the first day, and the secondary follicle is now formed. After the secondary follicle is formed, now it will be a preantral follicle. Preantral follicle. It's called as preantral follicle, right? In this preantral follicle stage, your LH, luteinizing hormone, will be more and more in number. Okay, luteinizing hormone is rising. So when the luteinizing hormone is rising, so then your antrum will be formed. Okay, your antrum will be formed. It is called as luteinizing hormone का इसको बोला जाता है surge, right? Luteinizing surge, LH surge, इसको बोला जाता है LH surge. So now the preantral follicle is formed to antral follicle. So let me tell you what is antral. What is antrum? Okay. So for example, this is an egg, and I have already told you, egg is surrounded by some which cells? Granulosa cells. So granulosa cell is covered it very large number. Then it is surrounded by a thicker cells. There will be thicker cells layer. So what do we do? Generally, these follicular cells, these granulosa cells, right? After a certain expression of your hormone, your estrogen level, when the estrogen level is too high, it also gives a negative feedback. It also gives a negative feedback to the granulosa cell, and it's going to lower its number, right? Which number? The granulosa cells number. So if at all, let me tell you, from here, oh, it's gone. Okay, there are a lot of granulosa cells, right? Here's a lot of granulosa cells. So tell me, if at all the estrogen will give up feedback to these granulosa cells, so in the negative feedback, the granulosa cells stops dividing, or there are some granulosa cells which will be already died. So there will be a void over here. This space is called as antrum. I hope आपको समझ में आएगा. So the estrogen level is surged. Estrogen level will be very much high due to the luteinizing hormone is increasing and the follicular cells are increasing in number, right? So the granulosa cells are increasing in number. Now when the estrogen level is beyond the threshold, then granulosa cells stop dividing and start expressing when the LH is surged, start expressing the collagenase, the prostaglandin. it start dividing this prostaglandin, expressing collagenase and prostacyclin also, right? So now this prostaglandin, prostacyclin, collagenase, what will do? So here is our egg. You can see here is our egg inside a thick granulosa cell layer and thicker cell layer. So we have to remove the egg should be come out of that place so that it could be ovulated. The ovulation will occur, right? So in that point what happens due to this collagenase? So collagenase will break the collagens, right? So it will break the interaction between the egg, the ovum and other cells surrounding to it, isn't it? So then what happens? So there will be the release of, so this is your granulosa cell layer and the release of the egg, right? So egg will be out and the ovulation will occur on the 14th day. On the 14th day, egg will be out and ovulation will be occur. Okay, so getting my point, everyone? सबको समझ में आ गया? Now, what will happen? That egg will be open out. Now the egg will be open out. So if at all, and this resting position will form as corpus luteum. I have already mentioned. Okay. So the egg, if at all the egg will be fertilized. So then what happens? If the egg will fertilize. So then there will be a formation of an outer layer. There will be a formation of outer layer. This is called as trophoblast. Right? Egg is fertilized now. So from the trophoblast there will be a secretion of an important hormone. His name is human chorionic gonadotropin. Right? Your very favorite HCG, and it is a marker of the pregnancy. Right? So it will be the HCG, right? Human chorionic gonadotropin, right? Though this hormone will stimulate the corpus luteum, right? Corpus luteum, and from this corpus luteum, the progesterone will be formed. So this progesterone will go and stabilize the endometrium, because in the endometrium the egg will be the endometrium layer. In the endometrium layer the egg will be what? The egg will be implanted, right? So the endometrium layer will implant the egg and it will carry out the egg, carry out the whole embryo during these developmental phases, right? I hope these things are clear to everyone. The second thing is, if fertilization not occur, if fertilization not occur, so after 5 to 7 days, this corpus luteum, it is of no use because it doesn't get any signal from that, because the human chorionic gonadotropin will stimulate the corpus luteum. Now it is not getting any signal, so it becomes corpus albicans, right? Now it becomes corpus albicans. So this corpus albicans will be degenerated and the progesterone level will be low. So now the progesterone, when the progesterone level is low, it is not going to work with the endometrium. What is its function? Progesterone's function. What is the function of progesterone? It will stimulate, it will stabilize the endometrium wall so that the embryo will be implanted. Now there is no embryo because the fertilization is not yet. So it is of the complete wastage, so that all the energy will be utilized at the endometrium. So it is of no use. Now the endometrium is of no use, so that it sets up. So that is your menstrual cycle, right? In the menstrual cycle, the endometrium is set off, and there will be the bleeding, your menstrual cycle, okay, after 5 days. So I hope you will get what are the hormonal function. Excuse me. Great. So now I'm just giving you an overall idea about how this oogenesis process is regulated by your different hormones. So now I think I will go over here. Okay. So guys, you must know that there will be a anterior pituitary, and over that there will be hypothalamus. Okay. So the hypothalamus will release a hormone. The name is GnRH, gonadotropin releasing hormone, which in turn activates the anterior pituitary, and from the anterior pituitary the LH and FSH will be secreted. LH. So I have already mentioned what is the function of FSH and LH, right? So when the FSH and LH will be formed, what it do? It will move through, the FSH will move through your granulosa cell. It will work on granulosa cells. But your LH, the luteinizing hormone, will work on the theca cells. Theca cells are on outside. Theca cells are on outside. So the theca cells will secrete the progesterone. Right? Theca cells will secrete progesterone, and another one is androgen. So the androgen stimulates the granulosa cells. Androgen stimulates the granulosa cells, and the granulosa cell, from the granulosa cell, the estrogen will form in a very high number. Also the inhibin, which will act as a negative feedback function, and also there will be a formation of activin, which will inhibit the inhibin, right? So I hope all the points are clear to you. Now from the uterine endometrium, if division will occur, because uterine endometrium also have to divide. So I have already mentioned you which hormone will help with that, the estrogen. But to maintain the thickness, which hormone will be helping out? Progesterone, right? Progesterone is going to help it out, so maintaining its thickness, so that it could be implanted. Okay. So I hope I have completed all those points of follicular development and oogenesis, right? So I think it's time to end the session. Thank you so much for being a great audience, and please like, share and subscribe this channel. It is a #1 channel for your IIT-JAM preparation, and thank you so much for being over here. Take care. Bye bye. Good night.